Alright, so this is the first video I'm going to make in my series of how to watch demos. So, the first thing you're going to want to do as a league player is pick a player. Basically, as a league player, what you're responsible for is filling your role. Usually, when you're playing on a team, you are not going to be changing your spot every round on CT side. You're not going to be changing where you're going on every play for your team. So, according to your team's strategy on T side, someone will usually do what you will similarly do for your own team on your strategies. So that's kind of difficult. But what isn't difficult is finding out how to play your CT side. Everyone can play their CT sides a little differently, but for example, I am usually the mid player on Mirage. So I want to get better at it. So how do I get better at it? And what I would do is I would find someone I like, a pro player, and watch how they play that spot. So my favorite player in the game is Henny from Immortals. And what I would do is I would go to his page on HLTV. The way I went to this page was I just Googled his name, HLTV, and I found it. There's different ways to do this again. You could go sometimes on Players of the Week, and you can find players like this. You could just see who's hot right now and kind of just look at their latest matches. So Dennis has been going crazy lately, and I might want to just watch how he plays, but I don't know what spot he plays on mid for Mirage. Or I don't think he plays mid on Mirage, so I wouldn't watch him. But I know Henny does. So picking a player is a little more difficult. You could just pick a high-level match, and then you could see who plays those spots. If you pretty much pick any top 10 teams from their HLTV rankings, you're going to find some teams that are good, and you're going to see how they play these spots. So if you pretty much watch anyone from any of these teams, they are extremely competent at their positions. They are going to play their spots the way you're supposed to for the most part, with little variations in style and whatnot. But I know I like Henny's style, so that's why I'm picking him. So I go to Henny, I go to his match history, and I find a game where he played Mirage, and he did well, hopefully. So I look at these. He did badly this game, so I don't really want to watch it. He had a pretty bad rating. Another game, he got a 1.14 rating against NRG. NRG's not the greatest team when this video was made, but they're okay, so this is a viable video. They played Navi on Mirage, and he went positive, so that's probably a pretty good video. Navi's a really good team, so I'm going to click this one. So click it. I see how Henny did. He kind of had a middle of the road rating on. I don't think there's a way to view CT stats or anything like that, but I think this will be a good enough video. So what I'll do is I'll go to more info, match page. I explained how to get these demos in my last video, but yeah, I would just download this. So Navi versus Immortals. And what I'm going to be looking for as this downloads. So what I'm thinking about is his positioning. I'm thinking about how is he helping his teammates? How is he getting help from his teammates? I want my teammates to be able to help me too. I don't want to be just a solo player. But if you're just a pugger, there's really not as much there's not as much teamwork there. So you don't really have to worry about those kind of things. So you should just kind of play your own game. So I'm gonna go to start my Counter-Strike game, or I gotta get the file. What was that called? IEM Oakland, Navi vs Immortal. I would normally rename this, but I already know what it is. IEM Oakland, okay. And so yeah, now I'm gonna show you guys how to watch this. I'm not going to do these intros for every single one of these videos. I felt it was important to do it for this one. I could talk about choosing videos in the future, but for the most part, this stuff, I think in the previous video, you should kind of understand what you're kind of looking for. You're looking to find pro teams, of course. You're looking to find teams that played well and kind of evenly helps too. So this round, actually, Henny goes somewhere else. Wow, this demo started really quickly without really much introduction at all. So they're doing a different strategy this time for their pistol. So I wouldn't really, my team doesn't do that. I wouldn't consider this round. So I'm going to skip it and see, oh, they lost. So how do they play this eco? What does he buy? I'll skip ahead. He bought a Deagle, and actually this round, they're kind of doing a stack towards middle. Henny is sometimes also a connector player. But what I would do is I would probably be this mid guy. So Bolts is kind of hedging towards mid. So I might actually choose to watch him. He's not the player I really wanted to watch, but he's still really capable of doing this spot. So I see he's just kind of shouldering it. I see he's not even looking right now. He didn't see anyone mid, but look at how he's not holding it. So look at his positioning right now. He didn't even see the person, I don't think, that threw that smoke grenade. He just knows, okay, there could be one top mid right now. There could be more than one top mid. The way he's doing this is a kind of a informationally devoid style. So I take note of that. I see that he's not really pressuring for info. Henny's kind of at the top of the connector right now. I'm going to flip between these guys because I could be either one of them. And he's just shooting some spam shots, nothing too crazy. And now he's moving to B because it looks like they got a read there that they're going to be over there. So he already moves to Cat. He's got a pistol, so he should be playing up in these close-up positions. I'm trying to take note of all the ways he moves, changes his positioning throughout the round. The shots are kind of on him or on myself in his situation. But notice that he's close up in this get right position. He just got 2 really nice frags, and that was a great rotation. So now I can use that the next time I play my own pistol, like eco round or force buy round after losing the first round. That's already great information. That's how you should be watching these demos. You just need to see how is he moving around. So let's just draw it. Let's just think about it. Let's take the time to actually note that. Like, you want to internalize all these things. So he moves into the window. He kind of hangs out in this area also, like top connector, and he hangs out here. And these are kind of his 2 spots, like during the round. Right here and right here. He moves back to here, and he kind of just plays with this area a lot, and then he moves quickly. He doesn't hang around B at all. He just moves quickly to get right. So this is a really messy drawing, but these are the things you really have to notice. His positioning, how he moves throughout the round. If he notices a B stack, where is he going? Or a B push, where is he going? And it's his get right position. This is a really strong pistol position. You don't want to play bench with a pistol because then you're taking long range engagements against rifles. This is very difficult. I want to play in these positions. I'm already aware of some of these things, but you gotta use your own judgment and your own kind of Counter-Strike logic to try to understand why he is moving into every position he is moving. And this is an anti-eco round. He's not even playing in the window right now. He's playing completely outside the window. I didn't see how this round developed, so I'm just kind of shooting off and just kind of trying to guess what he's doing there. But I had to, if I really wanted to know, I would watch the whole round. Let's watch how he rotates again. So he moves to the window. He goes completely right away to door. He doesn't even hold the window position, even though he had the rifle, just so he can get in this position, so that he can play with these columns. He died right there, but he got that nice entry kill, and now Henny's here to clean it up. So you can see how the rotators move. You can see how Bolts moves. I think Henny plays the connector position unless he has the op, but I really like the way he opt mid, which is why I was interested in this demo. But again, I think it looks like Bolts is actually more often than not their mid player, unless Henny has the op. So, oh no, it looks like they're switching. Yeah, they're switching this round. So now I'm going to watch Henny. So yeah, this can happen too when you're watching pro games. You don't want to just keep watching the same player if he's not really playing your position. You really just want to know your position. If you would switch normally, then of course, okay, so Bolts took the first kind of engagement by moving right here and moving to this connector position. So he's still helping out mid, but in a different way. But now Henny jumps down. He's trying to get some information. I think they know that most of Navi is towards A. I don't know why he's already still here, but regardless, I mean, it's just little things you should know. Sometimes you won't know why someone's doing something, so you can try to think about it, and you should try to think about it. You shouldn't just take it as is every time a player does something. You gotta use your own judgment, and this may sound obvious, but you really have to think about it. You can't just relax. You can't JDM lounge and just watch a video. You gotta you have to be intently watching these videos. You gotta notice everything, because think about it as if it's a turn-based strategy game. Like, he's doing one decision at a time. Despite CSGO being so dynamic and for there to always be infinite options, it's pretty much like, okay, right now he's making a connector play. And how is he making this connector play? And the way he does it is by throwing the smoke. Henny loves this smoke right here. And why does he love it? Because it covers him from anyone pushing through easily. So now he can op over this, and it's almost a one-way. It's pretty difficult to see over this, so someone that would peek him right here is not going to see him very easily. So this is how he helps out the mid spot. Now the smoke's gone. What is his idea? What is his strategy here? What is his like next turn in his series of actions? So he flashes over, maybe to help his team. Also, maybe he was going to do his own peek with that. That might have been a teamwork play, but yeah, you can see that flash. That's a flash now you should probably use. He's using, notice his position. He used this box right here for a split second. This is a good way to watch if anyone's coming out, and it's also not the easiest shot if anyone comes out of Palace. It's a really strong position in the connector if you're trying to help out at A. You're helping Palace, you're helping close. If anyone runs out close, you're kind of at an off angle. Usually they're going to expect you to be jungle, or maybe stairs, maybe in the connector, but on this box, it's like a nice off angle to catch someone out. So keep thinking about positioning. That's probably the most important thing in any round, is a player's positioning. A lot of people think it's just aim. Henny is probably one of the nuttiest aimers in the server. Simple might be the only person I would actually argue has actually better aim than him, but he still lost that. He still lost that round. He couldn't just out-aim them. It's never as simple as aiming. A lot of people fall into this fallacy of, oh, if I just out-aimed him, I would have won. But really, it's so much of this game is about positioning. Keep thinking about positioning when you watch these demos. Think about, is he hugging the wall? Is he at the back of the wall? Watch how he... Look at that jump that he jumped across with. That's a nice little positioning move. Now we could get here, and even though Simple, I think, was holding... Simple's holding connector right now, but if Simple were holding the normal mid-peak, then Henny would have just jumped over it, and he could have got into the spot really easily. So, and notice how Henny is lining up right here, and notice after he takes a shot, is he going to move left? Is he going to move right? Think about these things. Keep thinking about these little routes. The routes that pro players use are really optimized. They've done this. They've played here a million times. They've played so many scrims here, and they figured out moving left is better, or moving right is better. Is jumping down better? When to jump down? Think about all these things. Just keep thinking. I'm trying to help you how to think, but a lot of it is your own. I haven't watched every player. I can't tell you how every player is going to move, and different players move different ways. So find out what works for you, what doesn't work for you. When you're doing your own scrim, do I want to, after I take this shot in window, do I want to move left or do I want to move right? Why? If I move left, I can easily peek someone that's at this top mid area right here, but if I get mollied, I'm in a really bad position. Or if I get naded, they can really easily chuck nades into my direction. So another thing to think about. If you move to the right, you can't really help out as much, and the peek is a little more obvious. If I'm right here and I'm peeking, someone could be holding me really easily, but if I move here, now they have to peek me. Now they have to come swing out, so I'm the one that's actually holding here. But moving here, I probably have to re-peek. So just other things to think about. What works for you? What doesn't work for you? So this is... I'm going to stop. I'm going to switch to Teesside. I'm going to see how... one of the Navi guys, or I'm just gonna keep going on Henny. I'll see how he plays, where he plays. But really, CT side is so much about positioning. It's about the positioning in the beginning of the round, the positioning in the middle of the round, and how they retake. You can break the round down into pretty much three parts. There's kind of opening spots, middle spots like after the dust has settled a little bit, their entry nades have been thrown, and people are kind of in their default positions. And how does he retake? Henny's been pretty bad at retaking, so I'm not going to really overthink everything he's doing here, or really... I can think about it, I can think about his positioning and how he helped, but nothing he did was successful. So I don't know if I really want to... I think Navi's a really skilled team, so it's going to be hard for him to actually get into good positions, but also he wasn't successful, so maybe I don't want to actually copy the things he wants to do. You got to think for yourself. Is it working? If it's working, I want to copy it. If it's not working, I have to think about it. So... Alright, I'm kind of in the second half on a gun round. This might be an interesting round to see. Henny's still alive in a 1v3. He might actually win this. I don't remember exactly, but I'm going to go to the beginning of this round and I'll show you kind of how he starts a Teesside round. So that's how you do CT side though. How does he do his early positioning? How do they play on pistols? How does he move around? That bolts round was really informative to me. Now I know that I should just, if I'm rotating from mid, I'm going to next time move into this get right position right here. It's very strong for pistols. So just remember those little really effective plays. How did these plays work out? And when Bolts was moving for market, he didn't just hang out at the window. He moved to the door, and he came out of the door to play behind this column area. So let's see how Henny plays this round, and I'll try to talk about it, and I'll talk about what I would see. And so when you watch it, you can see it. So he's throwing a lot of nades at first. He pretty much used all his resources in the middle of the round. I think he's trying to make Navi use their resources back and maybe actually bait out a peek. I'm not sure if they know he has an op here or what. But, so he's been holding this angle for a while. He's waiting for a smoke comes out. Phelps gets some picks at B, and let's kind of watch what he does. So he has to get the bomb, and he has to move to B. He basically just knifes out, runs to the bomb, and... Of course he should pick it up. And Phelps dies, so now he's in a 1v3. So also, how do they play clutch situations? Not every player is the best clutcher. Some are better than others, of course. You don't want to... watch bad clutchers. There are some. Most pros are very competent at clutching, and but you want to actually take note of some of the decisions they make mid clutch round. So like instead of deciding to keep going cat after he was spotted, he decides to move up connector, and now he's taking a fight with Guardian here, and he moves on this bench right here. I don't know if I would have done that. That's another little positioning thing. So Guardian took a nice peek out. Guardian is a really great opper. I think a lot of people are going to think Guardian is a better opper than Henny, but but Henny was still able to get him because he used this really obscure positioning. That's so much of what I'm looking for in these things. And Henny was able to just close out the round. I think whoever's last revealed themselves. I actually was it Flamey or Seized, but yeah, they just kind of he knew that player was coming from B because he killed Phelps. So Henny has that idea that he's got to come from that direction. He's either got to come from CT, he's either going to come from jungle, he's either going to come from or connector. It's kind of a guess which of these three locations he's coming from. It's super unlikely that he's going to push all the way around when his teammates are already engaging towards the A spot, but it's possible also. But just he might have had info. I think probably honestly whoever was last made some noise. That's why he kind of knew. That's why he took that engagement. But yeah, those are just the things you need to think about still. So Bolt's got a really good opening to this round. I might actually want to go back and see how he did that. Well, they're against pistols, so it's not actually even that crazy. But how does he come out? How does he move? How does he? What are the objectives of a player going into a certain spot? You might not want to watch Henny because he doesn't do what you would do on a default, but I go A ramp a lot for my team, and I want to see what Henny does when he goes A ramp because I really like how Henny plays. I really think he's smart, strong, incredibly fast with the op, has great positioning with the op. He's really underrated with that. His movement it's not groundbreaking or earth-shattering, but he has really good movement. So, or really good positioning, not exactly movement. There's a difference. There's a big difference between positioning and movement. I'm not going to talk about that right now, but so what is he doing right now? This is kind of like I'm getting into IGL kind of stuff. It seems like he's setting up a strategy, but how does he move into the round later into it? So they're doing a 3-person B push, and this might not be a strategy your team uses. This might be a strategy your team uses, but what is he doing? How is he throwing this flashbang even? These little nades, so he does a little walk, like jump throw, and he throws 2 flashbangs. So that's kind of how I want to throw them, I think, because these guys have practiced these flashbangs a lot. I've done them with my team too. I know how I want to throw these flashbangs, but if you haven't done them, then you can see, of course, I mean, that's how he throws nades, and nades is probably one of the easiest ways to take something from demos. You don't even really, it's much less thinking, but here's another little positioning thing he does. He stands on this ledge looking if anyone's crossing. It's a very tight crack, and usually when people are peeking out, they're not going to just look at this balcony because not many people even sit here. It's a nice off angle for an op to be. Usually people are going to sit right here and look into the window, but because so many people sit here, it can get pre-fired, pre-aimed. There might even be a flash that someone knows for it. But very rarely is a person going to sit right here. So now that's something else I know for playing a post plan at B, is that spot. Again, just keep taking note of positioning. I'm going to stop the demo here. I think it's pretty understandable now what's going on. You want to think, so for CT side, what do you want to think about? You want to think about how a person plays in the very beginning of the round. How are they holding angles? Which angles do they decide to use with the information they've been given from the other team? How do they move in the middle of the round? Are they going to keep holding the same angles after knowing that certain smokes have been used and flashes have been used and the other team could have been pushed forward? A lot of defaults will get players into more advanced positions, and after those advanced positions are taken, you usually do not want to be in the same spot you might have started the round because you kind of you got pushed back a little bit as a CT. So moving forward into the round, a person could be here. You don't want to be caught off guard. You want to just play the better spot. You can make a play to get more control, but you don't really want to just take it for granted that no one's going to be there. People can always be in certain places if certain flashes are thrown, smokes are thrown. You got to think about that. When you're watching a demo in the future, you can see how do people get those spots, but you mostly just want to know, I should be better. It's better to be safe than sorry. You don't want to just give up a free kill as a counter-terrorist. So look at all the positions that they take in the middle round, and how they move back in the middle round, and what they play from that point forward. And retakes are really important too. Some players are really good at retaking sites. Henny wasn't that good that game, but if you see a really nice clutch in a match that you're watching on Twitch or something, you might want to actually watch the demo and see what each individual player did in that retake. Especially if, for example, on Mirage, if you're usually a B player and you saw Navi lost a 4v2 where they had 4 people on A, 2 people were rotating, and then Immortals had 2 people rotating from B, you want to see how each of those players did that retake. The positioning, the nades they threw. Just think about all that. Don't just think, oh, wow, they got all the 6 shots, because that's rarely how these things happen. It's mostly about positioning. It's mostly about utility usage, making it into a one-on-one engagement. It's hard to explain all this into a brief video, but I'm going to talk about more things in different videos now. So thanks for tuning into this one. I might do more on this if there is the demand for it, or I feel like I didn't properly cover this. But thank you. I'm going to go on to IGLing now.